Alright, what is up everybody? Nick, Ryan here, Wrestling Radar, back a little bit of a hiatus, we haven't posted in a while, but we're going to get back into the thing, hopefully have at least 3 or 4 more videos up before our WrestleMania vlogs, which is in 3 weeks. And on the topic of WrestleMania, we're here today to give you some tips, tips and tricks about how to survive WrestleMania, how to make it worth your while and give you the best experience. Me and Ryan have been to 2, Orlando and New Orleans, so I think that we have a pretty good sense of how to do it, what not to do, and what to do. So I'm going to give you some tips.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to, I was actually at 29 too, but I don't really count that as like a real WrestleMania experience. We just started traveling for them in Orlando, and this will be our 3rd Mania in a row. No traveling this year, unfortunately, since it's right in our backyard here in New York, New Jersey, but we know how it is traveling. We enjoy traveling to WrestleMania every year, so we'll get back on it next year in Tampa. But yeah, we're here to provide some tips and things you need to know if it's your first time. And even if it's not your first time, it always helps hearing things like this from other people that maybe you didn't think of beforehand. So start it off.
Yeah, so start it off. If you're traveling, buy the package. Do yourself a favor, save the money, buy the package. You might not want to drop, what is it, like $1,400 or something like that, or like over $1,000, depending on the tier you want to get. You might not want to spend that, months out, but it is so worth it because we did the package for both Orlando and New Orleans, and we didn't have to worry about getting Hall of Fame tickets, NXT tickets, Raw tickets, Access tickets, nothing, no hotel. We literally just booked our flight, and then that's it. Realistically, we booked our flight, and that was all that we really had to get. Plus, I mean, we got other stuff, but it's the most efficient and most logical way to do your trip, especially if you're traveling to somewhere that you've never been before, or let's say if you just hate dealing with Ticketmaster like we do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money, and, you have to collect the money very early because the package, I mean, WrestleMania tickets go on sale around the same time too, like a week or 2 later, but the package usually goes on sale at the end of October. If you save from basically, like, the minute they announce WrestleMania for the next year, like they just announced Tampa in March. We're in March now. So if you start saving now for, next year's, you could have enough money by the time October comes around to pay for that package. And like you said, you don't got to worry about, oh, NXT is going on sale. It's impossible to get those tickets. Everything is covered basically in your package. And it depends on what package you get, but mostly everybody gets Hall of Fame access, NXT, Raw, and then, SmackDown if you stay. If you stay another night, then you get the SmackDown ticket. But yeah, it's totally worth it. They put you in great seats, as if, you saw, if you watched our video from last year, we did our unboxing for the package. It's so worth it. Just 100% can't talk enough about it, and we're planning on doing it for Tampa next year. So if you're traveling to a Mania, I always suggest the package as well. Another thing that we have here on the list is to take an early flight out to the city wherever WrestleMania is. Now, what we mean by that is, a lot of people fly in at different times of the weekend. WrestleMania weekend's a whole big weekend. It starts on Thursday, goes all the way to Tuesday if you stay for SmackDown. But the festivities really start on Thursday night because it always kicks off with an access session, and we like to be there early. Also, the Superstore, too, opens at noon usually on that Thursday. And
another tip with that, a little insider tip, if you want the good stuff, be there when it opens at 12 o'clock, because there's a lot of, especially WrestleMania time, there's a lot of exclusive merchandise, posters, plaques, if you're into the memorabilia. A lot of that stuff will go within the first, hour or 2 of it opening. So if you want to make sure you get, everything you want, be there when it opens.
I always like to get the match card posters. That's the one thing I really love collecting at WrestleMania each year. And in Orlando, I'm glad I got in there right when it opened because they were sold out, like, not too long after that.
The entire weekend, they did not restock.
I believe in New Orleans, too. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I believe they were sold out maybe a day or 2 after. So it's always good to take an early flight in, maybe get in Thursday morning like we have done. We did that for Orlando, 33. We got in Thursday morning, went right to the Superstore right off the plane, basically. And then last year in New Orleans, we flew in that Wednesday night, actually, gave ourselves an extra day. So it's always good to fly in early so you have enough time to really make the most of your entire trip.
Yeah, because the last thing you want to do is get there and be in a rush or, there's got delays or anything like that. Like we experienced for New Orleans, where our flight was like 3 hours delayed. Luckily,
you never know.
It didn't really interfere with our plans, but it's got to leave time for that.
Yep.
And the next thing is don't overbook your days. It's WrestleMania. You want to get in as much as possible, but be realistic when you're doing it. Me and Ryan were not realistic when we went to Orlando for our first WrestleMania. I'll run you down our first day. We flew into Orlando at 9 a.m. Flight landed at 9. We were at the hotel by 10, at the convention center for the Superstore by 12. Then we left to go to the WrestleMania sign by 1. Then we met Hogan at 3. Then went back to the hotel at like 5 o'clock, to Access at 6. Then left Access at 10, to Joey Janela's midnight show at midnight. Didn't get back to the room until like 4 a.m. and was up the next morning at 7.
Yeah.
That was dreadful. It was terrible.
I don't know what we were thinking. You know, our mindset was like, you know, it's Mania weekend, no time for sleep. That's a lot of people's mindsets. It's easy to say, you know, early on, but when you're actually in the moment, when Mania weekend actually comes and you're actually going to all of these events, one after the other, and you have to wake up the next morning, then that's when you're really, you know, you're like, oh my God, what was I thinking? But yeah, you know, it's hard not to overbook your days because there's so many awesome things going on Mania weekend. Everybody wants to go to every single show. I know I do. If I can go to every indie show that's going on around the tri-state area, I would. But it's just not realistic, and I've learned from past experiences. That was our first trip. It was Orlando. So, I mean, I guess it's a good learning experience. New Orleans, we said we weren't going to do the same thing. We kind of did do the same thing, but we eased up a little bit on it, but we still overbooked a lot. This year, since it's in our hometown, really not doing much. It really won't be that bad compared to the past 2 years. But yeah, definitely don't overbook your trip. Unfortunately, you're going to have to give up some stuff, some events, some things, some meet and greets, because I know there's a ton of those too all over the area. You're going to have to give up some of the things. It's going to be tough, but you have to really pick and choose here and there of what you really want to do when it comes to Mania weekend. Another thing that we have is, well, I mean, it basically goes hand to hand with what we said before, is leave time for travel. Basically, leave time for travel when you're traveling to the city, but also leave time when you're there, you know, when you have to take an Uber somewhere, or when you have to get from one event to the other, when you only have like 15-20 minutes in between. You know, we've got into those scenarios before where you're trying to wait for the Uber, and the Uber takes forever, and then you gotta call him, and then he takes the wrong turn, and then you can't find what car he is, and then he ends up canceling, and that delays everything even more. In Orlando, the traffic was dreadful. Absolutely brutal. I remember we were at Rev Pro Wrestling, which is, you know, an independent company, and we had to get back to our hotel to get ready to go to the Hall of Fame, and we literally did not have as much time as we had planned because of the traffic.
We gave ourselves 2 hours to get from Rev Pro to our hotel to Hall of Fame, which was not, it wasn't far. Realistically, maybe like 20 minutes away. No, not at all. But it took us 2 hours, and we just made it to Hall of Fame on time.
Yeah, so definitely leave time for travel, because these Uber drivers, you know, you never know, man. I mean, like, they're great because obviously it's a lot more convenient to take you from one place to the other without walking or anything like that, or renting a car. But let me tell you, some of them are out there, and they take wrong turns, and they don't. Some of them don't speak English, which is another thing that's terrible. So leave time for travel. Don't think you can make it to an event within 5 minutes unless you're walking, and you know you can because you can control your own speed. But if you're depending on Ubers, because Ubers are a big thing Mania weekend, leave a bunch of time for travel, I'm telling you.
And that segues into the next tip. Try and avoid Uber. If you can, try and avoid it. In New Orleans, we walked everywhere. If like something's like 25-minute walk, we still did it because it's better than waiting 10 minutes for an Uber to try and find us in our hotel and then paying for it. And it's just like, even if you pay more for your hotel to be a little bit closer, it's almost worth it in the end, because walking everywhere it's incredible. I mean, that's what, unfortunately, people traveling to New York aren't going to be able to experience that, because they're going to have to deal with subways and the New Jersey Transit and
taxis and all that,
which is going to be a nightmare. But like I said, if you can get a hotel close to where you're mostly going to be, the arena, stadium, or wherever you are, make sure you do that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, sometimes it's not that easy. New Orleans was good. It was a city where you could walk everywhere. Some cities aren't like that. You know, I'm not familiar with Tampa Bay. I don't really think Tampa's like that either, so I feel sure like it's going to be
very similar to Orlando.
Yeah.
With Ubers and stuff.
I mean, we'll see, but if you can avoid it, avoid it. But again, also leave time for the trains and stuff too, because you never know with that either. And another thing is, if you've saved properly, don't worry about prices. Don't miss out on a meet and greet or merchandise. You know, if you're debating on whether to do something, just do it. You know, if you have the money, just do it. If you're in the superstore and you don't know if you want to spend money on, you know, a certain memorabilia item or a t-shirt or something, just do it, because you might regret it later on. They have most of the things up on shop, but but some of the things you can only get in the Superstore, and it's cool to get it in the Superstore, you know?
Yeah. I remember last year in New Orleans, I passed up on the sleeveless hoodie, the New Orleans one, and really, as soon as we left New Orleans, I'm like, damn, I really should have gotten that. And it didn't go on shop for maybe like a month or two afterwards. So I was like, yeah, whatever. I guess that's it. That's over with. I'm not going to get it. Luckily, they did eventually put it up, and I got it. But just that feeling of knowing that you had it in your hand, you could have gotten it, and you decided not to. Like I said, like Cody Rhodes says, spend it now, make more later. If you have a job, you're always going to make that money back. So you're on vacation, you're at WrestleMania,
exactly.
Enjoy yourself.
You're on your vacation, you might as well splurge that extra money. The same thing happened to me with the WrestleMania cutoff tank top. You got it. Our friend Brandon got it. I wasn't really a big fan of it because I didn't see a point in it. But once we came back here and I saw that you were wearing it and stuff, I saw how cool it was. I really regretted not getting it. Luckily, it was up on the WWE shop, so I ended up ordering it. But yeah, I mean, don't regret anything. And also, too, for the meet and greets, if there's somebody that you want to meet, but he's too expensive, but you have the money, but you don't know if you want to spend it, just do it. It's better to just do it and then regret it than, not doing it at all and then wishing you did. So, that happens at WrestleCon a lot, too. You want to meet somebody, you don't know if you want to spend the money because there's so many people at WrestleCon. Just do it. Enjoy yourself. Meet who you can, because you never know if this, if you're like us, you'll go to WrestleMania every single year, but if you're not, maybe this is your only WrestleMania trip, your only Mania weekend experience. Just do it.
It might be your only chance to meet, Ric Flair. Maybe he's not going to come to your area for a meet and greet for, the next 5 years or so,
exactly.
And you're not going to be able to meet him. Just a quick story, me and Ryan were supposed to meet Ric Flair in Orlando for 33, and he had to cancel due to another appearance, and then after that was when he had that big health scare, and me and Ryan were very bummed out. I was like, man, I really hope good stuff for his health, because not to try and sound selfish.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds selfish,
but we're not trying to say, I really wanted to meet the man, and,
he's a legend.
Yeah, and luckily we got the opportunity to do it last year in New Orleans.
Right. Would have really kicked ourselves if, God forbid something terrible happened and he was no longer able to appear at any of the conventions, and we blew our one opportunity to meet him, So we learned from our experiences, and that's the point of this video, to let you guys know that don't pass up on anything. If you have the money, go do it. Also, too, another thing we wanted to mention is Access. Access is a very popular thing to do Mania weekend, but it's a very hectic and confusing thing to do as well. I know a lot of people have questions, a lot of people who have never been there before. It is very, very confusing if you've never been there before, but here are the things that you need to know mainly for Access. I think everybody knows the basis of it. There's VIP signings, there's premium VIP signings, there's regular general admission. When you enter Access, there's two separate lines. There's one for a VIP and premium. They both go together. And then there's a general admission line. Make sure you're on the right line, because if you have a VIP and you're on the general admission line, you're missing out on getting in early, because that's one of the points of VIP is to get in early. They let in VIP and premium VIP before they let in GA. So make sure you're on the right line when you walk in there.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing with the VIP, if you have a VIP ticket and just say, for example, you're meeting... Ronda Rousey's a big example. Say you're meeting the Miz and Maurice this year at WrestleMania Access, and you have that VIP ticket, and they're in the first session. Don't go to them right away, because you're in there early. So might as well hop on a line for a photo op or an autograph signing, someone you want to meet, and you can meet them because you're guaranteed to meet the Miz and Maurice. Why waste your time waiting on that waiting up for them to show up? Because another thing, they're never on time. If it says their meet and greet starts at 6 o'clock, they'll be there at 6:10, 6:15. So you got time to spare and go do other things.
Yeah, I mean, the Access... See, it's funny, because every WrestleMania Access we've been to, none of them started on time. The sessions, they just don't let you in right at 6 o'clock, just say, for the 6 to 10 session. They let you in a little bit later, and it sucks, because it cuts into your session. But when we went to Phoenix for Royal Rumble Access... They let us in right on time.
Almost to the dot.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. So you never really know if they're going to be late, if they're going to be early. Who knows? I mean, I think the last day of Access in Phoenix, they let us in 10 minutes early, and I was like, what? This is weird. Yeah. So you never know. But yeah, what Nick was saying, so if you don't know, they split up, into two sessions. There's one Access session, but they split it up. From 6 to 8, there'll be certain people signing. Then from 8 to 10, there'll be other people signing. So... if your VIP is from 6 to 8, you have until 8 o'clock to meet your VIP. Don't go right in at 6 o'clock to meet them because you're guaranteed to meet them, so why would you do that? You're giving up an opportunity to meet somebody else. That's the whole point of getting in early, is to hop on somebody else's line who you might not get the chance to meet when everybody else is in there from general admission, you know? So if you're guaranteed to meet your VIP, don't go in right away. You can go in at 7:45. You can go in at 7:50 if they're only signing till 8 o'clock. You know, that's one of the things we learned too. Do not go in right away because you're guaranteed to meet them.
And another thing too, and obviously this goes by, you know, what your preferences are. Me and Ryan, we're not big autograph people, so you know, the one thing like with Access, the lines do get very long.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say this, but like only if like that doesn't apply. If you like autographs and meet and greets, then by all means do it. But don't spend your entire 4-hour session waiting on lines to meet 2 people. There's other things to do with Access. I mean, me and Ryan done stuff. We got to call a match with Vic Joseph.
Very cool.
We got to make our own entrance at the, you know, they have like a full stage. You get to make your own entrance. You can watch some NXT matches.
You can do a promo.
Yeah, you can cut your own promo in like a green room. And like they have a lot of fun activities and things to do for fans. So besides just meet and greets, because we felt victim last time they were here for WrestleMania in 2013. We went to Access and we waited the entire night to meet Ziggler, Big E, and AJ Lee. And I mean, I don't regret. I mean, they were cool people to meet, but we didn't get to do anything else.
Right.
We didn't get to watch barely any matches. Didn't get to do any of the stage, promo, nothing. So we kind of like wasted our Access session just waiting on the line.
Yeah, I mean, Phoenix was different because there wasn't any of the exhibits that like there are for Mania Access. I think they just specifically save it for Mania Access, which is cool. They have like the Undertaker's graveyard, if you've seen pictures of that. They have, I don't know what this is called either, but they have a bunch of legend statues like Bruno Sammartino. They have Ric Flair. They have Ultimate Warrior.
Memorabilia around
it. You can go in there and see all that cool stuff. They have different photo op opportunities, like they had the ECW entrance. You could hold the trash can over your head last year. I know I did that. Triple H usually has his cutout stand where he's pointing at you. You can hold the belt.
You're the champion.
Yeah, pretend like he's you know, endorsing you for winning the title. So there's cool things like that you know is. You know, there's other things to do besides meet people. So yeah, do not spend your whole entire time waiting on a line. If the line is not that long, obviously wait on it. But if you look at the line and you don't think you can meet that person by the time the 2-hour span is up, there's just no point of standing there, because what's going to happen is they're going to switch the person, and odds are it'll be somebody you don't like or you don't want to meet, and you're just wasting your time standing there for no reason. So it's a waste of a session. But if they do it like they did in Phoenix, you know, the photo op opportunities will be worth it. You'll meet 3 people at once. You'll go from one room to the next, and you'll get some great pictures. Hopefully they do it the same way. I don't know why they wouldn't, but even still, just don't stand on the line the whole entire night. Trust me, it will be a waste of your night.
Yeah, so another quick thing we're on Access with meeting wrestlers. Take your time, enjoy it. Don't care whatever the volunteers tell you. No selfies, hurry it up. Don't listen to them. The wrestlers, they control their own meet and greet, so they want to take a selfie with you, they'll do it. If you want to, you know, talk to Roman Reigns about, you know, like a story, talk to him, show him like a picture on your phone, do it. Don't care what the employees say, the volunteers. That's all they are. They're volunteers.
Yeah.
And like, are they going to tell Roman Reigns he has to hurry up? No, Roman Reigns controls his own.
Yeah, I mean,
great line.
Access, I've really had great experiences meeting people. I never really was rushed all that much.
Yeah, I just know that in Phoenix for the video, when I was filming, if you go back to the video, I was filming Gallows and Anderson, and we're just talking, and the woman butts in, she's like, no selfies. I'm like, I'm not taking a selfie, I'm taking a video. But like, it just like ruins your experience when you got like people down your neck, you know, breathing and. Yeah.
But I mean, you know, for the VIPs, you'll definitely get your money's worth. So don't worry about that. That doesn't apply for that, because I talked to Becky Lynch literally for like a couple of seconds after I took my photo too. It was in one of our vlogs from Phoenix, and like I was shocked that she actually stood there and still talked to me, and you know, nobody rushed me away. So you'll get your money's worth. It'll be worth it, trust me. So yeah, just have fun and enjoy it, and we hope that this video helps anybody out there. If you have any questions, comment down below. And
it's up on Twitter, Instagram, we're always on there.
You know where we are. So, you know, we're all in this together, and I guess we'll see you guys there, too. We'll be hitting up Access on Monday afternoon, so if anybody's going to be there, let us know.